Oh my God, I'm so cold. So cold.
See, the thing is, sound Mohan Sundaram.
You probably have the right. You probably have your hearing aid, so it's okay. You listen.
Mohan Sundaram. Is he the guy? He was there.
Hello, can everyone hear me?
I can hear you. Yes,
Okay.
Mohan.
Awesome.
I made you the host. So
Okay, perfect. So you're gonna wait a few more minutes?
yeah, let's give everyone maybe like 3-4 minutes.
Okay.
Hi, Mohan.
Hi, who's this? Sumati?
Sumati, yes. How are you?
எப்படி இருக்கீங்க?
நல்லா இருக்கோம். நீங்க எப்படி இருக்கீங்க?
All well. So I'm gonna do the presentation in Tamil. I hope that's okay. எல்லாருக்கும் தமிழ் புரியும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். Plus this is a Tamil Changam presentation, so I want to keep it in Tamil. Unless objections, I can keep it in English.
நான் இதை எடுத்து பாக்குறேன். ஹியரிங் எய்ட் எடுத்துட்டு
ஏன்னா நீங்க நல்லா கவனிப்பேன், எனக்கு பாதி நான் விட்டு கவனிப்பேன். So you listen, நான் வேணும்னா நான் போட்டுக்கிறேன். அது புடிட்டான் இப்ப இவன்.
Okay, let me share my screen. It's been a while I use Zoom. I have to figure out whiteboarding. Share screen. Okay.
தேவனிகா
Being on screen too. Okay.
Mohan, Uma will do the intro for you and then we'll start. And Uma, you can start.
Okay. All right. எல்லாருக்கும் வணக்கம். We are so glad that you could all join us for the fourth installment of the TCSI speaker series. Please join me in welcoming the speaker for today, Mr. Mohan Sundaram. Mohan currently works as a senior partner solutions architect at Amazon Web Services. A couple of fun facts about Mohan. I'm sure you all, most of you all know about it, but it was new to me. It includes his interest in astronomy, and he was also featured in the Greenwich Time on his accomplishment of powering his home exclusively on solar energy for a year without any fossil fuels. So kudos to him for that. He was also instrumental in passing on his knowledge to younger generation by taking Python classes for various kids, including the ones that are part of the TCSI family. For today, as you all know already, Mohan will be sharing his expertise and thoughts on generative artificial intelligence, or Gen AI in short, and how it can ultimately pave the way for innovation and efficiency in various fields, including medicine, engineering, and whatnot. And without further ado, over to you, Mohan, for an interactive section.
Thank you, Uma. I appreciate it. Stamford Tamil Makkal அனைவருக்கும் எனது வணக்கம், மாலை வணக்கம். Let's get started in this session. So I'm trying to wrap this up around an hour time frame, so that's, I will try to make it as fun as possible during this time. முதல்ல சொன்ன மாதிரி அதில் தமிழ்ல தான் பேச போறேன் முடிஞ்ச வரைக்கும். எனக்கு தமிழும் கொஞ்சம் தட்டுப்பாடு தான். And if if you have any questions, I will maybe அதெல்லாம் கடைசியா வச்சுக்குவோம். நடுவுல வேணா கொஞ்சம் ஒரு ஸ்டாப் ஒரு பாஸ் பண்ணி கொஸ்டின்ஸ் இருந்ததுன்னா கேட்கறதுக்கு அலோவ் பண்றேன். So let's begin. என் பேர் மோகன் சுந்தரம், like whom I introduced, and I am a senior partner solutions architect at Amazon. But as he mentioned, my real passion is in astronomy. So whatever I'm doing in Amazon Web Services is just a side hustle. So I have a startup that I'm focusing on making solar affordable for, the community around me, and eventually probably expand from here. But இன்னைக்கு வந்து generative AI பத்தி கொஞ்சம் டீப்பா பார்க்க போறோம். What is generative AI? Why is the buzz? And what's going to happen in next 10-20 years? And how can you benefit from it? Before I do that, I don't know if everybody knows what is Amazon Web Services. If not, I'll give you a brief introduction. So it's basically one of the, cloud, top cloud provider. Cloud-na என்னன்னா அதுக்கு ஒரு தனியா அதுக்கு ஒரு 1 hour spend பண்ணோம். So cloud services is originally started by Amazon Web Services back in 2003-2002 timeframe. இப்போ பார்த்தீங்கன்னா நீங்க யூஸ் பண்ற almost every app in your phone is actually getting its services run from the cloud. Say, for example, you're watching a Netflix, it's coming from Amazon Web Services cloud. You're watching something in Prime, it's coming from the cloud. You're actually, making a travel booking, it's, through an app that's going through a cloud services. And if you're actually, calling a Uber or a Lyft, those app actually in turn is running in the cloud. And if you're taking a picture on your phone and storing it, that's also stored in the cloud. Most of the phones, except Google phones, go into the Amazon Web Services cloud. And most of your interactions on the web is actually going through the cloud. And that's what Amazon is, Amazon one of the top cloud providers, cloud service provider. And there are competing ones like Microsoft Azure and Google Cloud. So the generative AI is born in the cloud, essentially. Only because of the cloud, this is all, possible. Let me actually make it full screen and get into the. So என்னோட role வந்து senior partner solutions architect. Now I'm more like a CTO interfacing with some of the top companies. Partner solutions architect. I have a partner that I work with, which is one of the GSI partner called Kindle. They in turn have their customers, the top IT firms. அவங்களுக்கு வந்து என்ன எப்படி cloudல எப்படி implement பண்ணோம்னா I will give them guidance. What's the next thing coming around the corner? So generative AI, one of the buzz ones. We're actually every IT provider, a company, healthcare, manufacturing and engineering, and all the companies actually are very interested in what's going to happen. So this is transforming every industry, and we will see what is generative AI and how it all started. So AI-ங்கிறதுக்கு நான் இப்போ அடுத்ததுல next slides say explain பண்ண போறேன். What is AI? What is intelligence? I'll go into the basics. இந்த அளவுக்கு basic வந்து நான் when I interact with some of the tech people, I don't get into that basics, but I know this crowd is very diversified with you may not know all of the details. I'll get into those basics now. So the FDR it's a massive proliferation of data. Data is the foundation for intelligence, and we started accumulating tons and tons of data in the last 10-20 years. So data anu pathina, what is data? இப்போ கார் இருக்கு, கார்ல போகும்போது அந்த வீல் சுத்துது, then it actually has a wind speed, and actually the car itself has a speed. Then you have, if you have a combustion engine car, you have an RPM of the, your engines. Then so many data actually where exactly the GPS location, each point is going through. Those are all a data point. ஒரு 10-20 வருஷத்துக்கு முன்னாடி இதெல்லாம் கலெக்ட் பண்ணி என்னத்த பண்ண போறோம்ட்டு யோசிச்சுட்டு இருந்தோம். இப்போ வந்து அந்த டேட்டா வந்து எல்லா விதத்துலையும் கலெக்ட் பண்ணி, so we are starting to accumulate the data and trying to make sense of it. And humans cannot make sense of it because it's just too much data. But if you feed into the machines, when you feed it, if you can mute yourself, start have a question, that'll be great. So the data which is intelligence, original artificial intelligence, machine learning, generative AI is the next step of it. So, and the second part of this equation is availability of scalable compute infrastructure. That's compute infrastructure. Now, machines, computers, the data process capacity increase last 10 years. That led to the next thing is the machine learning innovation. That great question. There's certain background. If you can mute yourself, that'll be great. So this is the starting point for Gen AI, and basically the data, the compute capacity that led to the massive Gen AI innovation. So let's talk about what is data, and from the basic. So data in if I just start saying anje, 15, 25, 35, now you start seeing a pattern. It's just 10% increase. If I start saying, okay, it's not just 5, 15, 25, 35, let's say it's 14, 9, 27, 54, 73, all random numbers. This is just data. It doesn't make sense to anybody. It's all some random numbers. Now, if I start saying, what if those are the ages of people? So if I give you the context, the data plus context become an information. So now it's something, it's the age of a person is that data. The number, whatever I throw at, it's actually as a context. So it's an age of persons in an airplane or whatever. Okay, so now that data has become an information because you had a context. Now that information, if you start organizing, you have like a lot of related information. So if you have age, just like I said, these are all the ages of people in an airplane. So if you start accumulating all the names of the plane, where are they going? What is their final destination? And what's their health conditions? And what's their breathing rate? Within, if you somehow have a sensor attached to each individual and say they are are they all healthy? So then you started getting more data related to the same people, and you start organizing. So it's what a single airplane, people, all the people inside the airplane, what's their health condition, all those things. So you accumulate that, and there's a related information. You organize that, and that's that's a data. Now I'll get to the knowledge in a short while. So the knowledge maybe I can some other example. Somebody say something. So if information இப்ப என்னோட அருமை நண்பர் ஞானவேல் இருக்காரு. அவரு I met him at a party and we actually have a food in a tray, so he didn't eat mutton biryani. So that's the information I gathered, and I attached to this Gnanavel. So once I know that that's Gnanavel doesn't like mutton biryani, he only likes chicken biryani. So that's the information that when I organize, that becomes a knowledge to me. So that could potentially, after that, I won't give him a mutton biryani, I'll give him a chicken biryani. Becomes information becomes knowledge leads to intelligence or learning and inference. There's a lot of different words that's attached to it. So let's go to the next slide, and I'll tell you what is learning. So learning, or a dictionary definition, the acquisition of knowledge or skills through experience, study, or by being taught. So this is what happens when you're a baby. We born with அதாவது கண்ணதாசன் சொல்லியிருக்காரு, எந்த குழந்தையும் நல்ல குழந்தைதான் மண்ணில் பிறக்கையிலே, அது நல்லவராவதும் தீயவராவதும் பெற்றோர் வளர்ப்பினிலே. ஸோ அது என்ன வளர்ப்பு வந்து வெறும் பால் ஊட்டி சாப்பாடு போட்டு வளர்ப்புறது மட்டும் இல்லை. The knowledge, that information that you're feeding into the kid is what becomes that person as an adult. Similarly, we are doing it for the machines. We're starting to feed the machines information that starts learning things, and that becomes intelligence, and that becomes a model. And it'll all make sense in the next couple of slides when you go through this. So the intelligence part is actually essentially the ability to acquire and apply knowledge and skills is the intelligent dictionary definition. So there's a background noise. Somebody, you could.
Mohan, you can mute everyone else's phone microphone. As a host,
Yeah.
you can mute.
I think
You should have an option there.
Thank you.
Accent.
Because the knowledge, intelligence, intelligently only. I want to give you a little more depth on what is intelligence. Intelligence, it's not only about, say, நிறைய பேர் இன்டெலிஜென்ஸ்னா அசோசியேட் பண்றது ஆல்பர்ட் ஐன்ஸ்டைன். So intelligent doesn't mean that you have to do some deep mathematical calculation or come up with physics theory or something great. The simple things are intelligence, like cooking. So if you know how to put together different ingredients and make a very tasty food, that's intelligence. And because you have the information on these are the things that will actually have to do in sequence of steps to make a sambar or whatever you're cooking is very tasty, that is intelligence. And similarly, dancing is intelligent. And singing is intelligence. These are all only humans can do, because you have those knowledge and information how to modulate your voice to make those sounds really come out good. Those are intelligence. What is not intelligence is some of this anger, hatred, and rage. These are all our human reaction. Those are not intelligent. It's not based on information. You're just reacting to this. So similarly, I wanted to make that clear. What is intelligence and how we are actually. Intelligence is essentially an information processing, endeavor. So if you have some information that you process and get a good output that's valuable, that is intelligence. And that's what we are trying to teach the machines more mathematically. When we did that until, say, 2 years ago, before you heard about ChatGPT or any of these. By the way, the GPT-ங்கிற அந்த term வந்து generative pre-trained transformer. So this is the technology, new technology, machine learning technology that got popular in the last 2 years. That's what made the whole Gen AI explosion possible. So AI was there before, even before there's existing AI. The என்ன difference இப்ப next slide காமிக்க போறேன். But the GPT the important thing is a transformer technology. That's what made the Gen AI popular. So all of the models, underlying models, use the same technology. I'll get into what model is and all those things in the next few slides. But Gen AI, essentially, it's a generative part of that. That's actually is creating a net new content. If you look at this, these are all images created by just describing. Create an image of a dog wearing a glass and a hat, and it creates an image by just getting a natural language instruction. This image is not something existed. It's not some Google search that it did and pulled the image that was already existing. It created a net new content by getting some instruction from somebody. So that's what generative AI models were able to create new, not only images, videos, music, even stories, conversations, all those things, creating a net new conversation. You can actually talk to the Gen AI and say, write me 2 lines, just like Thiruvalluvar, describing this particular philosophy. And it will, I don't think it actually is fully trained on Thiruvalluvar, but Shakespeare is possible.
அதான பார்த்தேன் நானு 25 minutes.
Hello? Okay, so as somebody is speaking, if you can mute, please. And so where is it coming all this time? It's called something called a foundational model. That's what powering the generative AI. I'll get into what foundation model shortly. So Gen AI and foundation models are interlinked, essentially. That's what you have to link up in your brain. So now let's go into what is a foundation model. So, you have these existing AI ML, scenario where you train a model. Model is a mathematical model. It's not a model that you see in advertisement or anything. So based on some of these information that you provide, the data that you provide, and you want it to train to do certain things to accomplish some output. I'll show you that's a simple input and simple output is a traditional, machine learning model. There's the next slides will come up. But foundation model is something that actually fed on tons of data, the entire world's internet data. All the books, all the movies, all the music, all the YouTube videos, all of that, it actually went through and come up with kind of a human model. Now, we are what we watch and we are what we eat. Whatever we put into this, that's what makes us we are. So the knowledge that we gain is based on what we consume from the internet and the book. Similarly, this foundation model consumed all of the data that's available on the internet and coming up with some intelligence. And what that intelligence can accomplish, அதை வந்து சொல்ல போறேன் some of the example. So before we get into that, I will show you what is the simple input and simple output. So traditional machine learning, you give a simple input, such as say you give an image. Give an image and say, is there a cat or a dog in this image? And initially that model will not perform well. It doesn't know if it's a cat or dog. And you tell that, keep giving it a lot of image, and 1, 10, 100, 1,000, and starts getting some intelligence on its own. So it starts saying, okay, then you actually also give it a feedback. If it got a cat right, say you got the cat right. And that's different ways of training the model, reinforced learning, feedback learning. That's a traditional machine learning model. So you give a simple input and expect a simple output, yes or no. More like a probabilistic output. There's a 98% chance in the image that you showed has a cat in it. Now, sometimes when the model becomes super accurate, even human cannot see a cat in the picture, but the model is able to accurately identify after like 1,000 images that you actually went through. It's able to say there is definitely a cat in this picture, even though you cannot see it. Then it points it out, and we say, "Oh, there is a cat in the picture." So that's the traditional machine learning. Next, deep learning. Deep learning, you have a multiple complex input. இப்போ காரே என்னோட டெஸ்லா கார் இருக்கு, it uses the deep learning model for self-driving. என்ன பண்ணா it actually has 8 cameras, video cameras, 16 ultrasonic sensors. That's a radar. Then there is a lot of other inputs coming from a lot of the other sensors within the car. It creates a image or a computer vision of everything around the car. எங்க ஏதாவது பக்கத்துல ட்ரக் இருக்கா இல்ல பைக் போதா, இப்போ ரோட்ல டிரைவ் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கும்போது it creates that model and gives you a simple output such as how do we drive that car in that lane in the center. So that's its purpose. It can only do that. So and the deep learning model only can do one particular task, and that's a simple output. So that's what this one means. And now the foundation models, it takes in complex inputs and can give you complex output. So similar to what deep learning, but it actually can not only do one particular task, such as driving a car, or giving you some radiology. If you feed a lot of this radiology report and saying this person has this disease or not, that's actually only one output. This can do all of it, foundation model. That's one of the key difference between the traditional, way of doing machine learning things and what's happening with the modern, the new generative AI based foundation models. And also this next slide, this tells you exactly the traditional model. It can only, you have to have a labeled data. And what it means by labeled data is like you have whatever data that you're actually feeding into it, you have to label it, saying this is what this data means. And you train that model to do only one particular task and deploy it, and it will only do one task, say text generation or Q&A or chatbot. Or I can give you another example, say weather prediction. So if you actually have a bunch of data, like in that upper atmosphere, the wind speed, temperature, and what time of the day it is, all of those data is actually stored in one location, and you feed it to that, and you actually create, okay, these are the things that's happening on the upper atmosphere. Then you can expect on this particular date, some cyclone will be forming or some storm will be forming, and this is how it will start heading. You actually, those are all done by weather prediction models, the traditional sense. And for that, you have to label the data. This is all weather data. So you can't just throw a Shakespeare book at it and say, we predict the weather or, some random data to it. So that model is trained with the input that's actually specific to what it can accomplish, the output that what you want it to accomplish. And that changes with the foundation model. So you do all kinds of data. You don't give it any name. You just give it an unlabeled data. You don't even tell what the data means. And the model is learning by itself. It's pre-training and it's adapting that. How does it doing it? It's actually, that's the magic of this transformer technology. So it's able to do some inferences on its own, create its own intelligence. But the key difference is the foundational model requires lots and lots more compute time. You need a lot of money and time. So for example, you can train a traditional model for less than $1 million, to accomplish something, or even few $1,000s, depending on the complexity of the task you want to accomplish. To create a foundational models, you need several $100 million. So that's the difference. So foundation model requires a lot more investment and a lot more training time. But once it does, it actually is doing many different tasks with a single foundation model. That's why you hear about OpenAI, ChatGPT. That's actually Microsoft invested in that, and they're using OpenAI's GPT 3.5, then 4 now. And similarly, Google has Gemini 1.0. So some of the largest cloud provider, they invested on specific foundation model and they're using it to accomplish certain tasks. அது என்னென்ன பண்றாங்கிறது இப்போ அடுத்தது பார்க்க போறோம். இந்த ஸ்லைடை வந்து basically அதே தான். You actually have all of this unlabeled data. This unlabeled data could be anything, audio, video, your calendar, information, or World Wide Web, and JSON data, code, actual, Python, JavaScript, whatever code. It's multifaceted. The foundation model takes anything that you throw at it and understands it and creates some internal mathematical structure of knowledge, if you will. The create pani, it's able to do, like, we can start chat with it. We're actually going to build a small app at the end, and you'll see how intelligent it is. Like, it'll be much easier to build that app in like less than 10 minutes, and how it actually interacts with you based on your question and the context and all those things. And so all these tasks used to be only relevant for data scientists or machine learning experts. Now these are available for common people to start playing around, doing consumption directly, and customizing it with simple tweaks on your own, rather than having some highly trained machine learning experts to be able to build this. So it's this building or using this application is also becoming much more easier. Okay, so let's do a quick pause and see if anybody has any question. I don't want to be one-way talking machine. Another question is there? Will anybody finding it too much information too quickly? I'm going through. Please feel free to talk. Anyone?
So far, so good, Mohan.
Awesome. Okay. So what are the what's the benefit of this whole thing, generative AI? We're going to get into those. So you can, some of the simple ones that I'm throwing at, you can enhance the customer experience, boost employee and productivity and creativity, and optimizing the business process. I'll take few examples to tell you. So the chatbots, the chatbot traditional ones used to be useless. So you go and ask one question and can only give you some generic answer, pre-canned, answer. If you ask something that you wanted to solve for your particular problem, it's useless. But in the new generative AI, it's actually is much more personal. It actually not only the chatbots, even when you make a call into some, say you are traveling somewhere, your flight got canceled, and you want to, rebook or find next alternative. How do we get there? Where do we want to stay? How do you spend the night? So if you call into the travel agency, whether you're doing it for work or personal, doesn't matter. If you're calling into travel agency, first you have to tell who you are, identify with that person, and that, especially people like us with the Indian names, first of trying to explain or tell you your name and going through the spellings and other will take 10-15 minutes. Then you tell the problem, oh yeah, my flight is canceled, or in the flight, they don't know, the process is lengthy. But with Gen AI, I've seen these use cases directly. So it immediately picks up who you are calling, what you are calling about. It already rebooked you for next tomorrow this time. Is that going to be okay for you? That's the earliest flight I can find. It automates that process that quickly without any workflows involved. So typically they are accomplished by a traditional sense. You have to have somebody implement that workflow to be able to accomplish what customer is intending to do and what you want. Somebody has to have pre-thought all of this process. But Gen AI is intelligent enough to do that automatically. And of course, somebody has to confirm. The customer needs to confirm, okay, that flight works, or I don't want to book tomorrow. Can you actually just book me the hotel tonight? And those things are, the process is much more, efficient, improved, and with a better customer satisfaction. And if a boost employee productivity, summarization, that's a great use case. Sometimes you actually get a document, pages and pages of documents that you have to read through to see what they have, what's written here. Actually, I'll give you a specific example. Let's say that you are working for a health insurance company and somebody is calling the call center about health insurance claim. They already submitted all the documents. And for an agent, when they call in to review the document and while holding the customer on the call and see what they are talking about, it takes minutes. Hours even, they may even have to call them back. Okay, let me review this. Whatever you submitted, if it's all good, I will let you know. Instead, the Gen AI summarizer, these are the things that customer still has to submit. They already, submitted all the relevant documents. And as per this rule, they even can quote or source on what are, for this kind of a claim, they have to submit this kind of a document. All of that is actually handled by Gen AI, and without any training, without any, anybody actually going and training the Gen AI model. This is what you should actually look for. It just looks at all the document you exposed it to, all the rules that you exposed it to. But
இல்ல இல்ல சொல்லுங்க சொல்லுங்க. It's okay.
So
Mm.
so that's another use case. And code generation, even for developers like me or anybody else in this call, it makes a life
Okay.
a lot easier. Hello?
Oh, Lakshmi Nadik.
If you're not speaking, can
தெரியும்
you
தெரியும்
guys go
தெரியும்.
on
நல்லாவே
mute?
தெரியும்.
Okay. And business process, and over industry, there's a use cases. Almost every industry is going to benefit from it, and some are starting to accelerate the implementation of generative AI, and some, is still in the process of figuring it out what to do, how to apply Gen AI. It's like I mentioned in the earlier introduction, this is almost like where internet was like 30 years ago, like 1994, 95 time, people thought, who's going to do business in the internet? It's untrustworthy. And, we need to see person face to face in the eye. Now, internet business is several $1 trillion worth. Similarly, that's where it's really at a nascent stage in generative AI. And it's only going to grow continually for the next 10, 20 years. This is like a once in a generation technology transformation. That's what Gen AI is bringing it to the industry. And it's touching every industry, from healthcare. Actually, I have some healthcare use cases at the end that's specific. Then for industrial and manufacturing. So, I've seen this implemented where there's a manufacturing process of, say, a welding machine that actually, based on the acoustic data and the sound, how the welding machine is welding and the sound, it's actually there is a fault in that welding or not. And that's actually, those sound is actually fed into a generative AI model. And based on a good weld versus a bad weld, it actually can differentiate just by looking at sound, not even the physical output, end product of that weld. Just by sound, it's solid, so there must be a defect in the product. Otherwise, it's actually correct. And financial services, fraud detection, and many other use cases. Adalin area Gen AI, infusion is coming in. Retail, media and entertainment. Media and entertainmentல அதுலயும் ஒரு யூஸ் கேஸ் காமிக்கிறேன். Actually, அதுல possibly for some of people living and staying at home, you can use to leverage the media and entertainment services to probably home-based small business development you can do, like the ladies or gents who actually have some unique way of changing. I'll actually get into that in a bit. So I just wanted to give you what are some of the use cases from different industries. And இதுல இன்னுமே அதிகம் நிறைய specific use cases எல்லாம் இருக்கு. But let me start getting into, now Amazon ஒர்க் பண்றதுனால Amazon எப்படி யூஸ் பண்ணுதுன்னு சிலது சொல்றேன். So if you Amazon product வாங்கினீங்கன்னா, the product recommendations are made by some of the traditional machine learning, services. So depending on what you bought and the prices that you're looking for, what you added to your wish list, and a product recommendation, the machine learning is doing it. Similarly, when you ordered a product, and I highly recommend if you go to a nearest fulfillment center, Amazon. That is, there's one in New Jersey, That's one in like every other state. So all of the product gets into one fulfillment central location. By the time you click add to cart, buy now, all these robots picks up whatever you ordered, it goes into all these conveyor belt, put it packaging. There's very few minimal human intervention, and puts it into the shipping. So it actually shows up on your door right next day. So this is all possible because of machine learning. Similarly, billions of Alexa interaction. If you have Alexa at home, asking questions, various questions, it's actually machine learning is the one actually doing that answering. All creating all these links and connections and what you're asking about. What are the some of the, this is the latest news, or just asking you to play a song based on your taste or what you listened to in the past. All those are machine learning. Similarly, just walk out, அதே நான் இப்போ ஒரு கஸ்டமர் கூட பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன். Just walk out எல்லாத்துக்கும் தெரியுமா தெரியல. There is Amazon Go store in somewhere around the country. Actually, there's one in New York, few in New York. There's few in Seattle and all around the country. So in these stores, you can just walk in. If you have Amazon Prime membership, you just tap it on the screen when you walk in, pick whatever you want, and walk out. There's no sales clerk or any checkout machines. It just knows what you picked up, and you get billed for the things that you picked up. And this is starting to appear in airports too. So airport, if you want to get a drink or a chip or a sandwich, you can just walk in, pick what you want, walk out. And that's also powered by machine learning, because எல்லாமே the camera வச்சு பார்த்துட்டு இருக்கு. And என்ன எடுத்தீங்க, exact என்ன எடுத்தீங்க எல்லாம் சொல்லும். But if you want to dispute something, you can say I get charged for this, but they will actually show you this is what you picked up, this is what you walked out with. You cannot cheat them. But also is they actually handle these disputes very generously. Sometimes people want to make I've seen like cases where just take something and they say I didn't pick it up. They say, okay, eat it. Instead of fighting over $1 or $2 product, they just tell you to keep it. But anyway, that's another walkout technology that's using machine learning. This is some of the Amazon thing, but I want to go into specifically some of the three stacks. This is what a student today getting into college or already in college should think about. How do we actually benefit from this Gen AI, revolution? So there's like three layers here. I mean, like this is kind of a crowded slide here. So the bottom layer is the most toughest to get into, and the most what I can say is a kid who actually is really good at mathematics, hardcore mathematics. You want to get into a chip level design and want to contribute to the next generation, foundation model, training and evolution. You want to target this bottom layer. In the salary is over $1 million to start with, $1 million per year. And just a kid out of school, just graduated from a school, some other top school, or you have to have some contribution towards, Gen AI, you can get a $1 million plus salary easily. So that's not everybody can get into this. This is actually, you have to learn about some of this machine learning languages like PyTorch, TensorFlow, and how to run those on the infrastructure, like AWS Inferentia-ங்கிறது ஒரு chip அது. Trainium-ங்கிறது அது another machine learning chip specifically for training machine learning models. And NVIDIA பத்தி நிறைய கேள்விப்பட்டிருப்பீங்க. NVIDIA it's just shooting through the roof the recent times, because they become third after Microsoft and Apple. Now NVIDIA is the third most valued company in the world, $2.3 trillion. So this company was nowhere to be found like a year ago. It was less than 200 billion. Now it's almost grew 10 times to 2.3 trillion. So அந்த இதுல என்டர் பண்ணதுன்னா உங்களுக்கு பாட்டம் லேயர். அடுத்தது பாத்தீங்கன்னா உங்களுக்கு நடுவுல சேஜ் மேக்கர்னு இருக்கு. சேஜ்னா என்ன தமிழ்ல? சேஜ்னா முனிவர்பாங்க. ஸோ the sages means munivar. Munivar maker, the sage maker, essentially, it's a machine learning model. The munivar davam irundu avanga wisdom எல்லாம் கத்துக்கிட்ட மாதிரி, the sage maker will allow you to train a model to become good at one such thing. And training using the sage maker, learning to do that thing in the sage maker is the next layer, and the middle layer. The top layer, AI services, this is the easiest one. Anybody can use it. And the SageMaker layer, this is probably for most students today. There are similar things is available in Google and Microsoft as well. And you should focus on getting some training on this and how to leverage SageMaker. There are like different jumpstart or service SageMaker jumpstart. Use you can train some of those. Then there is like a IDE. IDE is integrated development environment. Use train பண்றதுக்கு எப்படின்னு கத்துக்கலாம். So again, this is more for students and even adults who actually have some data science background or you want to get into this. That is the middle layer. And the bottom layer, like I always said, it's one of the toughest. You have to be really good in mathematics or chip level design, but the payout is really high. And you can even start a new company, new foundation model, investment in there, and that will make you a billionaire if you have that kind of capability. And so I want to focus on the top layer, which is AI services. And this is where anybody can get in. You don't have to have any background in machine learning or computing or any such thing. You just are consuming something, just like Facebook long video put, Instagram long video put, you become an influencer. You don't have to be a technology expert to do that. So you just have to know how to leverage those social media outlets to become somebody popular. Similarly, is that it's going to happen for generative AI. If you know how to leverage these services to create content on your own, you are, in the next 5-10 years, you are looking at somebody big on, just like people who are got big in social media services, social media influencer. There's a great opportunity here. And I don't have the time to go through each of this and what it does, how you can leverage. I just want to show it and move on. All right, அடுத்தது இப்போ Bedrock, Amazon Bedrock இருக்கு. இது is more for the middle layer. People, kids, even adults who are interested in wanting to leverage machine learning. The Bedrockங்கிறது Amazon இப்போ அடிப்பாறைம்பாங்க Bedrockங்கிறது. இப்போ Manhattan is built on the bedrock because they were able to build a really tall structure because Manhattan is on a bedrock. அதே மாதிரி இப்போ Bedrockல Amazon Bedrock is where you actually access all these what do you call the foundation model. You have a choice of foundation models. சொன்னேன்ல முதல்ல foundation model is different from traditional model because it can do a lot of these things. But these are different types of foundation models. AI21 Lab, Jurassic 2, Claude 2. I want to get into what Claude is and give you specifics. So these are different foundation models you can use to build your generative AI application. So the Amazon Bedrock gives you that access. It's an API-based access. You can call Claude and accomplish something. Say somebody, if you want to create an image of for cartoon character, you just give a natural language description of how the image should be. Say for Tamil comics பண்றீங்கன்னு வைங்க, அதுல ஒவ்வொரு பிக்சரும் create பண்ணோம்னா the image you can directly say I want an image with describing something with a bubble of Tamil words. அதை create பண்ணி கொடுத்துரும். அதை நீங்க ப்ரோக்ராம்ல வச்சு பண்ணீங்க, நீங்களே ஒரு இது பண்ணீங்கன்னா அது ஈஸி. instead of going and directly doing it and copying and pasting all those images, you can create something like that. That's just throwing an idea. It's not like, you want to implement it on your own. You might have your own ideas. So similarly, Meta AI has a Llama 2 model. In Stability AI, these are not the only choices. Or 5, 6 but there are like many more choices with Amazon compared to, say, if you go with Microsoft Azure, you only have OpenAI as the only choice. And Google, yes, they have developed their own model. Actually, Google is a little more open. Google actually has access to cloud, Anthropic or a model. But Amazon actually has the access for the most open source models as well. And real quick, I want to show you what Claude does. Just recently, okay, this is the Claude and காமிச்ச model வந்து Claude 3 launch பண்ணானுங்க March 4th. That's like 2-3 weeks ago. This is the benchmark. So Claude 3, this is GPT-4, and these are Gemini 1. இதெல்லாம் வந்து benchmark test பண்ணி அதை ரிசல்ட் போட்டிருக்காங்க. It just really blew GPT-4 and Gemini out of the water, just performing in every aspect of the benchmark. Claude 3 is doing amazing. Now it's the talk of the town. Everybody is talking about how to leverage Claude 3. And obviously, OpenAI வந்து இப்போ GPT-5 work பண்ணிருக்கான். So that will come in the summer. They will, leapfrog Claude 3. So this is actually a kind of an arms race. They're actually trying to, it's not like one guy is going to rule them all. It'll always be, there's more different kinds of model coming up, and they actually are good in doing something, better for certain tasks. So I just want to show you what Claude 3 does. இதில் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா நிறைய இந்த டெக்னிக்கல் டைம்லாம் இருக்கு. I can start getting into 5 shotனா என்ன, 0 shotனா என்ன, 0 shot COTனா செயின் ஆஃப் தாட். அதாவது நம்மளுக்கு மனுஷங்களுக்கு இப்போ இன்டெலிஜென்ட் டெஸ்ட் பண்றதுக்கு ஆப்டிடியூட் டெஸ்ட்லாம் இருக்கு. John has 5 apples and he gave 3 to Alice and he bought 4 more. And if John apple, on the chain of thought, you have to continually track how much apples he had originally, what he gave away. இது வந்து பழைய மெஷின் லேர்னிங் மாடல் கம்ப்ளீட்டே சொதப்பிடும். இப்போ புது மெஷின் லேர்னிங் மாடல் they actually keeping that chain of thought and tracking everything, answering questions intelligently. In fact, இப்போ டாக்டர்ஸ் எக்ஸாம்ஸ் இருக்கு, lawyers exams or state bar exam. So these Gen AI models, they let them take those exams and they're actually acing it. So it used to be like they were not able to do it. Now the Gen AI are capable enough to become a doctor. A doctor's med exams and even lawyers exams is actually acing it. And there are reports that some of these not just reports, I've seen it like last year's movie, the Oscar winning movie, not this year's 2024 இப்போ ஆப்பன்ஹைமர் கொடுத்திருக்காங்க ஆஸ்கர். So 2023 வந்து win பண்ண ஆஸ்கர் மூவி Everything Everywhere All at Once movie. I don't know if any of you seen. It's a beautiful movie. அதுல வர நிறைய கிளிப் எல்லாம் வந்து they just told the generative AI to create it. They didn't even take a camera to go somewhere and set it up and, have characters do things. They just told generative, I want a clip like this. These are the characters and I want this output, this lighting. They just naturally describe, with the natural language, they describe what they want and it just created the video clip. It's just not for like YouTube clip. It's actually won an Oscar. So you can imagine the power of generative AI influencing in our life. And இப்போ வந்து ஒரு Hollywood producer, he was building a major studio, investing nearly $1 billion. Then he started seeing these output from these models, and he said, like, I'm wasting money building a studio. I'm going to rather invest on, Gen AI to create this clip for my movies in the future. So just an example of how it's actually changing. All right, so let me go back and try to wrap this up. Okay, so this is Amazon Bedrock model, different models எப்படி access பண்றதுன்னு காமிச்சோம். And there are like agents for Bedrock. We don't have a lot of time. Sports, it's actually changing the way we watch sports. It is already for Foxla, the football is already into American sports like football and baseball. It will eventually go into IPL. For example, in the overல இந்த பவுலரு இப்படிதான் போட போறான், இந்த பால்ல விக்கெட் வரும், அந்த மாதிரி ப்ரிடிக்ஷன்லாம் based on different characteristics, it will start giving you some predictions. And it may or may not happen based on probability, but for a audience, it'll give you an additional. If you can turn it on or turn it off, you don't want predictions, you can turn off those predictions. But if it is something like that happens, it'll be funny. So anyhow, so sports influence ஆகுது. And we just go through the fine tuning and அதுக்கெல்லாம் அவ்வளோ டைம் இல்லை. Data private, okay. The quick side, BI capabilities. Or winner. Let's go to another example here. The Amazon Q that's actually just got launched late November. That's a demo I'll give you. Amazon Q for quick sighting, it's a dashboard or a BI tool. They automatically based on the data without you putting together a dashboard, a graph and whatnot. You just tell them what you want, it just creates it. The demo will show you everything. So this should be the demo. The you just wanted to ask a question about a task. It automatically creates a Jira ticket and assign to a person who can handle it, rather than just giving you instruction. Manual create panama. You can do all those automation. You just simply typing or asking, even speaking to it, to just like an Alexa. Can you do this for me at a business level? This will eventually come to home also, instead of it's already has a lot of those things are handled by Alexa at home, but for the business level also, it's automating some of this process, creating a Jira ticket and putting it in the backlog and assigning it. If something is not progressing, you can actually raise a flag. As a matter of fact, some of this code build, it used to be, it's actually creating this code also to fixing a problem. Say some technical problems, so you have to assign it to a developer, and you have to go through the daily stand-up review and all those process. It became generative AI became another developer in your team. You just assign some of the simple tasks, fixing some of the things. Doing the job and finishing everything, and even debugging it, testing it, putting it into DevOps pipeline and releasing it. So the whole thing is going on. And this ஸோ இங்க இந்த எக்ஸாம்பிள் என்ன ஆகுதுன்னா, இப்போ ஒரு கோடு இருக்கு, யாரோ எழுதின கோடு உங்களுக்கு புரியல, தலையும் புரியல, காலும் புரியல, என்னடா நடக்குதுன்ட்டு போய் ஜஸ்ட் நேச்சுரலி யூ ஓப்பன் அப் த கோட் அண்ட் லைக் டெல் மீ வாட்ஸ் கோயிங் ஆன் இன் திஸ் கோட்னா இது சிம்பிளா 2-3 லைன்ல வந்து இதுதான் இங்க நடக்குது, சரி இதை மாத்தி எனக்கு இப்படி எழுத முடியுமான்ட்டு அதையும் அது பண்ணி கொடுக்குது. ஸோ அந்த அளவுக்கு இப்போ இட்ஸ் நாட் லைக் சம்திங் கோனா ஹேப்பன் இன் தி ஃபியூச்சர், இட்ஸ் ஹேப்பனிங் ரைட் நவ். All right, so that's a quick demo. Let's go to the next slide. Bedrock, the health scribe, but I'll give you a brief. This is actually a really good service. இப்போ பார்த்தீங்கன்னா டாக்டர்கிட்ட போறீங்க நீங்க, say annual checkup or your personal doctor, and you actually have a conversation with your doctor, and the doctor, somebody has to eventually do the transcription. The doctor patient conversation என்ன நடந்தது, then the doctor again has to, they have to put it into medical terminology. What was the conversation for the doctor himself to summarize and keep it for future notes. Then the doctor has to review, then approve. It takes a lot of time for the doctor's time as well as cost and the person review பண்றதெல்லாம். இப்போ ஹெல்த் ஸ்கிரைப்னு ஒன்று ஒரு சர்வீஸ் வந்துருச்சு. என்ன பண்ணோம்னா, it's same doctor patient conversation, it immediately does it on the, while they are having the conversation, all the transcription, as well as tells the doctor, based on patient's history and their data and everything, our patient, பேஷண்ட் சொல்ற காலத்துல கொஞ்சம் வலிக்குது டாக்டர், ஒரு கை நம்மன்னு இருக்குது, என்ன பண்றது. இப்போ நம்ம ஒரு டிபிக்கல் டாக்டர், சரி ஒரு குரோசின் அனாசின் கொடுக்குற போதிட்டு படுத்துக்குங்க. பட் this health scribe actually based on the actual patient history will tell you, okay, also some medical journal recently published and saying, okay, this patient might have this problem or this disease, doctor can he check, gives a doctor prescriptive guidance and an idea on what to look for. As a matter of fact, நான் இப்போ சொன்ன அதே கண்டிஷன் வந்து என் ஃப்ரெண்டுக்கு வந்தது, பார்த்தா அவருக்கு பிரெயின் டியூமர் இருந்தது. ஸோ the doctor actually, first doctor, they brushed it aside and said, okay, it's nothing, you can just go home. But these things, actually, they just looked at some of those symptoms accurately. The doctors, they have 1,000 things to do. They don't really pay attention, especially internal medicine doctors. They're not trained to know all of these brain related. Sometimes you have to go to a specialist to, see what that symptom really means. But having a generative AI assistant right next to any doctor, it's will bring a world of change and probably even save many lives. And that's actually is available right now, the health scribing of it. Not only the suggestion to doctors, the transcription, the doctor saves a lot of money. I mentioned it to my own doctor. He was like thrilled. I'm spending like $5,000 a month on just this transcription services. This is like cost less than $50, to subscribe and use it. So it's actually does it on the fly with the doctor conversation, and he can actually, before a patient walks out, he can complete that transcription right there rather than மறுபடியும் டைம் ஈவினிங்ல வந்து டைம் வந்து என்ன பேசணும் அதெல்லாம் நினைச்சு இந்த மெடிக்கல் டெர்மினாலஜி எல்லாம் அக்யூரேட்டா இருக்கான்னு பார்த்து அப்ரூவ் பண்றதுக்கு பதிலா it saves the time for the doctor too. So that's one example on health scribe. Code whisperer. I don't think we have a lot of time to get into that, but I promised you to show you a demo. Do we have the time, Vita? I think
mean, if people are willing to-
7:05.
Yeah.
Hmm?
If people are
Okay.
willing to stay on, yeah. Or we
All
could
right,
do a
so-
second session if people are wants to drop off.
Yeah, so anybody willing to stay, I'll spend another 10-15 minutes on the demo. Before I do that, I want to go show you something cool on the code as well. இப்போ பார்த்தீங்கன்னா கோட் விஸ்பரர்ல ஒரு ஃபியூச்சர் நான் சொன்ன கோட் எப்படி டைப் பண்ணி இதை எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ணுங்க அதுன்னு சொன்னா அதுவே சொல்லுன்ட்டு இப்போ வந்து என்கிட்ட இப்போ ஒரு ஜேசான் ஆப்ஜெக்ட் இருக்கு நிறைய பேருக்கு கோடு எப்படி யூஸ் பண்ணுன்னு தெரியுமா தெரியல பட் டோன்ட் வரி அபவுட் லாட் ஆஃப் திஸ் டீட்டெயில் இது கோடுங்க ஜேசானு கருப்பா இருக்கு அதெல்லாம் பயப்படாதீங்க இட்ஸ் ஜஸ்ட் ஆல் இட்ஸ் இஸ் லைக் சம் டெஸ்ட் டேட்டா நேம் ஈக்குவல் டு XYZ ID equal to 001, balance equal to 100. If you are simple, the currency equal to US dollar. I'm just creating some test data. So I want to repeat this test instead of just putting XYZ, I can put some, make it spicy and add some, characters. So if I did Anakin Skywalker, அப்படின்னு ஒரு Skywalker ஒரு கேரக்டர் ஸ்டார் வார்ஸ் கேரக்டர் ஆரம்பிச்சு விட்டான் அடுத்தது வந்து அதுவே டார்த் வேடர்னு ஒன்று சஜஸ்ட் பண்ணுது அது கிரியேட்டட் அ நியூ லைன் ஆஃப் கோட் அடுத்தது அதுவே லூக் ஸ்கைவாக்கர் and solo this is something just something simple for a developer to be excited about and you can keep going Leia all the Starbucks characters is coming this is not anything useful or super helpful, but it's just another code. If I want to change it to say Harry Potter character. Harry Potter, not Harry Potter related, you'll keep adding more Potter. We come here, it'll suggest Luke Skywalker. Harry Potter, Luke Skywalker. Say Captain Kirk, Star Wars. Captain Picard. So it'll Star Wars character மாதிரி இருக்கும். We can probably try some Tamil characters. பொன்னியின் செல்வன் பார்ப்போம். பொன்னியின் செல்வன் என்ன கேரக்டர் வந்தியத்தேவன். So let's see if it suggests anything. ஸ்ரீராமுக்கு பொன்னியின் வந்தியத்தேவனுக்கு என்னன்னு தெரியல. Probably கரிகால சோழன் ஆரம்பிப்போம். Anyway, so it's just I wanted to show you Kumara Cholan. Okay, at least it's doing something there. That's good. I like that. Tirupi Kumara Cholan. Maybe Ponniyin Selvan இன்னும் படிக்கலையாட்டிருக்கு. எல்லாமே Kumara Cholan. Okay, so this is the code based இதை முதல்ல சொன்ன மாதிரி ஒரு கோடு புரியல யாராவது எழுதின கோடு எப்படி அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்றது இல்ல எனக்கு ஒரு கோடு இந்த மாதிரி கோடு எழுதி கொடுன்னு நீங்க ஜஸ்ட் டைப் பண்ணீங்கன்னாவே போதும் ஒரு கமெண்ட்ல இல் கிரியேட் த கோட் அண்ட் ஆல் தோஸ் திங்ஸ் இட் மேக்ஸ் லைஃப் ஈஸியர் ஃபார் எனி ஒன் யூ யூசிங் இட் ஜெனரேட்டிவ் AI. Okay, now going to some demo. For the demo போறதுக்கு முன்னாடி I wanted to show you some more. For example, this demo, the NVIDIA பத்தி சொன்னேன். They are starting to develop some robots that's actually multi-purpose for home use. So within a short period, within the next year, you can buy a robot for a price of $10,000-$20,000 or under $20,000, just like a price of a car. That is general purpose to help you with any home task, including possibly வெங்காயம் தக்காளி அரைஞ்சு கொடுக்குற அளவுக்கு we are going to have within the short period. That's what this demo is also about. There's robots coming that's already in the works, multi-purpose robot, like different kinds of hand movement. And it's also helpful for old people, by themselves to, and this is where actually you can apply your own individual idea. They எப்படி யூஸ் பண்ண போறீங்க? How are you going to develop a business, even a small business? I mean, இது பார்க்கறதுக்கு பயமா இருக்கு, ஏதோ பண்ண மாட்டிருக்கு, நம்மளுக்கு இல்ல, நம்ம படிக்கல, அதை பத்தி எல்லாம் கவலைப்பட வேண்டியதில்லை. It's all very easy. Most of your kids can even help you if you know how to play a video game. This is how easy it is to build a new kind of robot to train what you want to do and do some simple tasks at home, including, juice, drumming. This is with the robots, cloud, generative AI, all of these, pulled together. Okay, I will go to the quick demo now. Did I? Okay, so this is the another app called Party Rock. So I can just go and tell it to generate a new app, say, just by natural language. So I'm not doing anything coding, no mumbo jumbo on what, data science script that I have to input to get some app generated. This is just describing, say, list, display list of, I want an app that will do something. I'm a dog lover. So I want the app to tell me the type of dog breed for a given country. So if I say, England, it'll ask to list of dog breeds. So that's what I'm going to say here. So, see, list dog breeds for a given country. So it will create a base app. Then I can actually start, customizing it further to match my need. So yeah, I did it just in a natural language. I told it what I want. It create a simple app already. So it's just less than 30 seconds. So if I say here, India, it should list me dog breeds from India. So here's a list of popular dog breeds from India. So India Paraya dog, Mulhound dog, there's a Rajapalayam, Chippy Parai, Bakarwal dog, I don't know what that is. Kanni. And say I want a picture of the dog as well. Rather than just telling me what the list of dog, I want to make it even customized to give a picture of the dog. So I can now actually I have to take this app, then I can modify. I can say edit, add widget. I'll try to put this smaller. Maybe move it here. And I'll add another widget here. So instead of static thing, I want to create an image. Okay, so this image I can use. This is where I can pick a model. இங்க பாத்தீங்கன்னா நாங்க முதல்ல காமிச்ச different model. இது இப்ப என்னன்னா it's creating an image out of the country. I wanted to create an image out of the dog. அதை இங்க போய் சேஞ்ச் பண்ணிக்கலாம். இப்போ மாடல் இப்போ ஸ்டேபிள் டிஃப்யூஷன்ங்கிறது அது ஒரு foundation model that can only create images. Other which to style, what type of image I want. I want a cinematic image. இங்க வந்து கண்ட்ரில இருந்து இன்புட் எடுக்குது. அதை மாத்தி விட்டு நான் I want to move it to say a dog breed. Dog breed விண்டோ வந்து எடுத்து எனக்கு இன்புட் கொடுன்னு மாத்தி விடுறேன், அவ்வளவுதான். Save, then I have to redeploy நினைக்கிறேன். So this is another widget. Okay, so you create a widget with the dog. Which dog is this? Indian pariah dog, ஏதாவது ஒரு dog image. This is not an image that it pulled off of internet. It's actually creating this image based on the information that it has. It actually kind of drew the image. I can even change this to say cinematic பதிலா 3D model or analog film. In the மாதிரி we can start playing around with that. Then I'll create another widget here. Say haiku text generation, some generated content. So it's just an haiku. This I created another information about that. It's not something is not right here. Let's fix that. The image of town Maria that create பண்ணிருக்கு. I want to create one more here, a chat bar. I'm ready to chat. Okay, in the chat வந்து I want to make it. இதுல போய் you have different choices of models இங்க. பார்த்தீங்கன்னா you have Claude 2.0, Claude 3. These are all different models. I'm going to choose Llama 2. Llama 2ங்கிறது வந்து Facebook, the company Facebook-ஓட மாடல் அது. There are different choices here. I'm checking that one. And I want to change this to the dog. Character name, dog breeds. What is actually redeploy பண்ணாதான் எல்லாம் ஒழுங்கா இருக்காங்கன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். Okay, now let me make public. And I have to go back and come apps, dog breed finder. Okay, now let me see if I can put Scotland. So it's generating Scotland and then a breed இருக்குன்ட்டு. Scottish Terrier, Golden Retriever. Scotland also has a Golden Retriever. West Highland, and now it's actually creating an image of the dog. Hopefully it works fine now. It's haiku, some random text it's just generating. So you can come up with your own idea. So this is a free app. You can, I'll send you the link. You can go play around creating your own app. Something is not right. It's not creating this image correctly. It's just creating a Scotland, countryside image, but not the actual dog image. But another cool, this is a chat app. So I can go and chat with this dog, supposedly, and it should interact with me just like, that dog is talking. Let's do that. Hey there, Scotland dog. I don't know if I spelled it right. I'm a Scotlander. I'm happy to chat with you. Which breed of Scotland are you? Okay, I want to know. Let's see. So it's just interacting as if it's like a Scotland dog. Scottish dog, and I want to learn about Skye Terrier. So it will actually talk to you with a Scottish accent. So the Skye Terrier, there's a fantastic breed known for their distinct appearance. So actually, this model is not doing the accents properly. I'll actually will change the model here. So Llama 2, let me go to Claude Haiku. No. I think Claude Sonnet should be good. So this is how, actually, one more thing I wanted to show you. Advanced settings. You're pointing not temperature pin. This is some machine learning talk. temperature and P and a top P temperature. This is actually, if you can learn more about it by clicking on I here. Increasing the parameters in this section will increase the randomness of the LLM's response, results. So temperature and top P and you can learn it on your own. So I want to change that to 0.3 and maybe more randomized, and click save. And now let's see if we can chat and do you see any different answers. Hey, Scottish dog. Okay, so now it's starting to act like it's a dog. Anyhow, so then I can say, how old are you? Let me see if I can fix this this widget as well. Agree. Go to anime. Anyway, so that's a quick demo on this. This is like a anime with dogs also supposedly in Scotland, and you can change the country now. Let's see if we can go to Mexico. And as you've seen, it didn't take me a long time to make all these changes. So you can start playing around, creating your own, idea, app, whatever it could be. It could be about music. It could be about, learning about some other country. So this is some quick demo that I wanted to show you. Hope you found this useful. All right, so we can open it up for quick questions. Anything, any questions, any comments? Anyone? Let's feel free, don't be shy.
Mohan, this is Vinod. Yeah, it's a great session. Thanks for that. So can
Sure.
we expect a follow-up session on other topics? I know you have covered basic in the call, right? And there are certain topics where we can go a bit deeper as well, right? So can we expect a follow-up session offline or through this series?
On generative AI, or just want anything?
No, on generative AI, we touched upon the foundation model, right? And foundation model evaluation. So there are certain topics where we can have a more detailed discussion, right? So
Sure. Yeah. I mean, what are you thinking? What topic are you thinking? So let me release changes here. What's a detailed discussion on specific foundational, how to apply it, or bedrock?
yeah, so in general, when you talk about foundation model, right? So how do you choose a foundation model? So start from there, right? And how do you evaluate it, right?
Yeah, I am trying to keep this to reach as wide range audience as possible. So please do a specific business. I don't want to get into our business meeting. I want this to benefit.
Yeah, so that is the reason why I wanted not to go in detail. But yeah, so just
Sure,
checking with
we
you
can
if there
plan for
can
that,
be
but,
a follow-up session where you want to address other topics in general for the wider
Sure,
audience.
if there is enough interest, I'm happy to have set up a follow-up interest. Absolutely.
Thank you.
You are welcome. And so anybody else, anything you want to build? This is just simple app to build anything. It's called Party Rock app. I'll share the link, but there are other ways you can build a generative AI app. But like I said, the next 10 years, this is going to have explosive growth. And if you actually invest your time and energy and money and resources correctly, you will benefit a lot from this. You can even have a startup company from your home, doing simple things. and not really solving biggest thing. You're just leveraging a generative AI and make a business out of it. All right, guys, anything else? Feel free to, come online and talk, or we can wrap it up. So,
Thank you, Mohan. We can wrap it up. Vinod, Ninga, I think you had specific things, right? Like if you don't mind connecting with Mohan privately and come back. If you need a session, we can arrange, or based on the topic, we can float it in the group and see how many people are interested, and we can host another one.
Sure. Thanks, Abhida.
Hello. Hey, Mohan.
hey,
Hey, this என்னோட பேர் பொன்னுச்சாமிங்க. So thank you for this session, right? This is really helpful. இந்த prompt engineering அப்படின்னு சொல்லி ஒரு பாத் இப்போ எமர்ஜ் ஆயிட்டு இருக்குதுலாங்க, அதோட லைக் கைண்ட் ஆஃப் ரோட் மேப் அந்த மாதிரி எதுவும் சஜஷன் இருக்குங்களா உங்களுக்கு?
Yeah, when you want to use the generative AI, you have prompt engineering, RAG, RAG and agents, LangChain, all those things are interrelated. The prompt engineering is very relevant for generative, the foundation model to accomplish the task you want to accomplish, but that's not the only one. The RAG, retrieval augmented generation, that's also, that's getting into more nuance somewhere in the middle layer. Like, I told you the 3 layers, bottom layer, middle, and the top. So if you want to get into those middle layer, go deeper into it, then these prompt engineering, RAGs, and all those things you have to get, familiarized with and use it. And so that's actually, there are courses, generative AI courses that I can share. There's free courses as well as some that you can sign up through Coursera or some of those. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars. It's more than few, less than $100. If it's something that's interests you, I highly recommend taking those courses and learn this topic really well. But that again, that's going into the middle layer. And the bottom layer, it requires a lot more. You really have to go to a top college or a research institution and to get into the bottom layer.
For
And
those like familiar with like TensorFlow, the PyTorch, இது எல்லாமே அதுவும் prompt engineering relevantங்களா? இல்ல அது ரெண்டுமே like kind of different layer?
yeah, the prompt engineering is it's more high level. Actually, even for a top layer, I actually misspoke. Top layer and prompt engineering. Prompt engineering essentially what it is you're telling the model this is exactly what I want. Instead of just asking a generic question, without giving it a context, you are giving it in the context la எனக்கு இந்த ஆன்சர் வேணும் அப்படிங்கிறது. How you actually frame your question to the generative AI is what essentially prompt engineering is prompting it to give you the output that you are looking for. Prompt engineering. So you can even do a quick video on that. There's like a lot of YouTube videos on what prompt engineering is. And even the Claude model that I showed you, they published some of the prompt engineering somewhere here. You can go and search here on their website if you want to use the Claude, and they have a pre-built prompt engineering questions. Should be somewhere in here. Code generation, operational efficiency. I saw it. You can search for those. Depending on the model that you want to use, say even for GPT-4, there are some prompt engineering list of prompts that you can use to get the input, or they give you how to frame your questions. So yeah, you don't have to know. You don't have to use the PyTorch or any of this code for the prompt engineering.
Got it. Sure. Thank you.
You're welcome.
அந்த slides share பண்ண முடியுங்களா? The informations.
Sure, yeah, I will send it in the PDF format, sure.
Got it. Thank you.
You are welcome.
Thank you all. Thank you, Mohan.
You're welcome. Thanks, Sabita, for hosting it, and I appreciate everyone joining it. I hope you found it useful.
Thank you so much for your time.
Bye.